Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it on this cold, rainy day, like Edmund just mentioned. I am Roxanne Huey. I am the co-CEO for TNDC with my partner, Katie Lamont. We want to welcome you all to the grand opening of 180 Jones. This is our final celebration of the year, but we've had a really impactful year here. We opened our tallest building, 921 Howard, a few blocks away from here on the other side of Market Street. We rehabilitated 224 units at the Ambassador and Ritz and put earthquake protection in that building to save a historical building in the community. We also had a groundbreaking for 90 units out in the Sunset, which is the first out in the Sunset. So another grand opening we had is 203 affordable homes. Well, this is a 921 Howard, I just mentioned. So you're going to hear more about this building later. I'd like to pass the mic over to Katie to introduce her.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. All of the achievements that Roxanne just lifted up reflect the dedication of so many people. Our residents who inspire us every day and give us great feedback about what's working and what could be better. Our community partners, our funding partners, and the incredible TNDC team. I'm so glad to see so many folks from so many different departments at TNDC here with us today. And to all of you, we extend our deepest gratitude. Here at 180 Jones, in partnership with the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development and the Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing, TNDC transformed an inclusionary housing land donation to the city into studio homes for low-income residents, including many who were formerly unhoused. With supportive services, community spaces like this, and a beautiful shared courtyard up on the second floor I hope you all check out later today, this development addresses homelessness by providing dignified housing and strengthens our community. To our friends from the California Department of Housing and Community Development who braved intense rain, maybe going back, it wasn't so bad this morning, to travel here from Sacramento, thank you and welcome. Your support of this project with Housing Accelerator funds truly accelerate our construction start date and is critical to the success that we celebrate today. It's now my pleasure to introduce Tony Sertich, who has been a friend to and advocate for affordable housing, serving in many roles at the state, in the Controller's Office, representing that office in the TCAC and CIDLAC committees, where I first got to know you in lots of intense meetings around tiebreakers, and now serving as Assistant Deputy Director of the Division of State Financial Assistance. Please join me in welcoming and thanking Tony.
Thank you, Katie. And it's wonderful to be here this morning. Regardless of the weather, this is a very warm atmosphere. I'm very happy to be here. See so many smiling faces out there. One of the things that the state has been working on over the last decade or so is really making sure that the projects that we award ultimately come to fruition. And there was a lot of projects that had been awarded state funds, but couldn't quite make it over the finish line once more and more affordable housing got into the pipeline. The bonds and tax credits became more competitive, and so HCD had an idea to take some of his funds and use them to replace the tax credits. And this is a perfect example of what can be done when we think outside the box about how we can finance housing. So this had an old MHP award. It wasn't moving forward, wasn't able to get tax credits. Accelerator came in and was able to get this moving with the help of all of the partners that we have. I want to thank Silicon Valley Bank and First Citizens Bank for coming in and helping fund the construction along with the accelerator. I know when the accelerator program came out, finding the construction lenders was not easy, and there's a lot of discussion about that. So having those construction lending partners was was very important to making this happen. Also having the tenacity of the developers and having the tenacity of all of you out there, making sure these projects never just failed and didn't get moving. That goes hand in hand with the localities. The city of San Francisco has been a great partner with HCD on all the projects that we develop, and we know without them this wouldn't have gotten done. So today's the day for celebration, but we know there's a lot of work to be done still. The services that Katie mentioned, those are ongoing. We need to make sure that this project stays healthy and working for the next several decades, we'll say. And we want to keep that moving. So I'm going to thank you all for being here, and thank you for all the hard work that it took to get this moving. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Amory Sharp. I am TNDC's Chief Fund Development and Strategy Officer. Am I projecting? Yes, thank you. Good. Okay. If anything, my voice should probably go down a couple octaves. But again, thank you all for being here this morning. Just want to echo what the others said. It's a cold, rainy day, and you came out here to support this project, to support TNDC, and we very much appreciate it. I'm going to introduce our next speaker, Debbie Koski, in just a second, but I just want to echo and repeat what Tony said just about how important First Citizen Bank and Silicon Valley Bank was to this project, and how grateful we are for your support on this. I'll be back in just a moment. A couple more speakers we have coming up for you. And yeah, let's hand it over at that point. Debbie, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. What was that? Good morning. All right. I like that. So it is a rainy day in San Francisco, as Tony just said, but I think this room is filled with sunshine. I know my heart is filled with sunshine whenever I get to celebrate new housing in San Francisco, which is our shared passion and why we're all here today. So my name is Debbie Koski, and I'm with the Community Development Finance team at First Citizens Bank, and we provided a $35 million construction loan to help build this project. And we have been a partner of TNDC for many years. It's always a privilege to work together. They center the residents in their work. They value the community that they work in. They are truly a place-based developer and, one of the best. And so it's just an honor to get to work with them. And as was said earlier, when we made this loan, we were actually part of Silicon Valley Bank. And so I'm happy to report that our affordable housing work is thriving under our new ownership. We'll actually make more than $1 billion in loans and investments nationally this year. And First Citizens Bank has been around for 126 years, so very stable. It has a culture of service, which has really resonated with us, and it's a great new home for us. So thank you all for the opportunity to partner with you. Congrats to everyone here, and look forward to celebrating more.
Great. Debbie, thank you. I said to Jacob just a moment ago, you must feel like birthing a baby at this point to have you out here this morning. But congratulations on this building in advance. Just want to, again, thank you on behalf of everybody here. Jacob Goldstein, in the Housing Development Department here at TNDC, a project manager, and so much a part of this building. Jacob.
Thank you, Amory. Thank you all for joining today. I'm Jacob Goldstein, project manager on the housing development team at TNDC. It's pretty remarkable to think that I started working on 180 Jones in the summer of 2019. And over the preceding 4 or 5 years, I've seen the project go through design and planning review, many financing schemes and funding applications, 20 months of construction, and finally residents moving in. It's been a long journey to get to where we are today. There are a lot of people to thank, too many, but I'd like to name a few. To Karen, Ben, and the full Van Meter Williams Pollock team for taking on the challenge of fitting 70 homes onto this tiny plot of land. To the Cahill Contractors team for working in true partnership with TNDC, always thinking 2 steps ahead. To our fantastic construction managers, Sarah and Sebastian, to assistant project manager Toby Simmons for jumping into this project with such eagerness to learn, to our artist, Philip Hua, for the beautiful public art on the front of the building, to all of our TNDC teams and departments for their collaboration, and of course to our funders, First Citizens, MoCD, and HCD for making this building possible. I also want to recognize the site staff at the building, like Brad, LaShanti, Francisco, and others who are responsible for the daily operation of 180 Jones and go above and beyond to make sure residents have a safe and supportive and beautiful place to call home. San Francisco is in the news a lot right now, and generally not in a positive light. While the city certainly faces challenges, 180 Jones demonstrates things going right. This building is an example of a neighborhood coming together to create a community benefits agreement that resulted in affordable housing, an example of the state of California creating innovative new financing programs to help projects move forward, an example of city agencies and nonprofit developers working in partnership to provide homes for 35 formerly unhoused individuals. And, if I may add, an example of projects that can be built on time and on budget. Our homelessness. Our homelessness and affordable housing challenges will not be solved overnight, but I'm proud to say that 180 Jones is part of the solution and a home for 70 people. Thank you so much.
Very good.
And Curtis. Great. Next up, we have Curtis Bradford, who's in our community organizing department and the CCSRO Land Use Committee. Curtis.
Hey everybody, Curtis Bradford, Community Organizing Manager, TNDC. But that's not why I'm here today. I'm actually here to talk to you because it's hard to believe it was about 8 years ago, a group of residents from TNDC and from the CCSRO Collaborative got together with staff support from both of those organizations to create a group we called the 950 Market Street Coalition. And the purpose of it was to negotiate with the developer of this big project on Market Street to see what kind of community benefits agreement we could get for the Tenderloin neighborhood. They were building luxury condos, and we knew inclusionary luxury condos in a building on Market Street wasn't going to ever house anyone in the Tenderloin, from the Tenderloin. So this group of residents worked together, and they developed a list of asks for the developer, and to the developer's credit, they negotiated in good faith with us over the time. We spent almost 2 years in those talks. We showed up at numerous hearings at the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors, residents actually coming and speaking to them directly. That resonated with the commission, and it resonated with the supervisors that this was actually a resident-led initiative. And we won a benefits agreement of about $18.5 million for the neighborhood. And that included buying this land and some seed money to get it started. Now, I understand it took a ton of, staff from TNDC and city folks and funders and all kinds of work to actually make this building happen. That it's really gratifying to me to see that the work that we did as residents, all that time back, has actually led to people getting housed here. And so it's really, you get to see the full length of the work you do and the outcome, and it's over a period of time like that, that it's really gratifying. And I'm thankful for all the youth and your hard work making this a reality. Originally, the city told us there's no way you can build on this lot. It's just too small. The footprint's too small. So thank you for proving everyone wrong. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. The mayor is on her way, so I am going to we have about 5 minutes, so if there's more you want to share, Curtis, think about that. In the meantime, I'm going to take an opportunity to thank and recognize so many of people that are here in the room with us, and please let the mayor know when you see her, I did thank her team. I'll probably do it again when she gets here. I just want to really appreciate Dan Adams, who more than capably leads the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development. We are so grateful for that incredible team's partnership with TNDC over decades. I want to also thank and appreciate Shireen McSpadden, the leader of the Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing, also an incredible partner with whom TNDC is deeply intertwined because so much of our ethos and mission really is about permanent supportive housing and serving people who have experienced homelessness with the most robust and dignified and respectful services that we can provide. So we're so grateful for both of those teams for their partnership. I see so many people from the housing development staff, from our services team, from our fund development and communications team. Mike Vong, who is a member of our board, is here. We're very grateful. He is the director of the Tenderloin Clubhouse and super involved with the Tenderloin Community Benefits District. And the planning department isn't here, but I want to thank them too, because we've been really working with them a lot lately, really organizing leaders of institutions within the Tenderloin in parallel with work that Curtis and our community organizing team are doing. I think our director is actually at a meeting related to this effort. The Tenderloin Community Action Plan is really an incredible bringing together of residents and neighborhood organizations around how we can work in concert to send a unified message to City Hall about investments that we want to see in this neighborhood to make it the best place it can possibly be to live for the full spectrum of people that live here, including people without homes, including people that are fortunate enough to be housed, and including the small businesses that operate in this area that make it so vibrant, right? This is a really incredible neighborhood. You walk through here and you experience all these storefronts and businesses, and for the most part, they're not big chains. They're local businesses that cater to very specific communities that live in work in San Francisco, and it's something that makes this neighborhood truly special. Looking around, is there anyone who wants to say thanks to some folks? We have maybe how many minutes?
Probably about 44.
Okay.
I'll take 1 minute. I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Again, on the issue of saying thanks, I do want to, on behalf of the staff of TNDC, publicly thank Katie Lamont and Roxanne Huey, who are our COO and CFO for their day jobs, and then also have been serving just so admirably and leading TNDC as the interim co-CEOs during this time since Murillo Leon's passing back in February. TNDC will have news to share with you, we hope very, very soon, about a new CEO. But again, just to thank Katie, to thank Roxanne for all that they have done for TNDC over the past 9 months? Seems longer, I'm sure. But anyway, thank you. And again, we do have about 2-3 minutes. If anyone else wants to say a word or so, please. This is your chance.
I know you guys don't know me, but we let you know. Anyway, I want to say I wanted the residents here in TNDC, and I can't think enough how far I came from the SRO, well, from a shelter to SRO and to housing. And all this took within maybe a year, because I wasn't afraid to take that step of getting the resources that the city has offered to get housing. And I'm like many stories in San Francisco, I'm one part of that with the street stuff and getting housing. We went through the SROs. And one thing I can't say, when I first got into this, because believe me, I had no faith in none of this, you know what I'm saying? Because what I've seen with my own eyes has been out there. And like I said, if there's anybody who ever asked me, you got to trust the process. Trust in the people that got these openings for you. You can't be afraid to walk in the door. Because my mom always taught me, she says, son, whatever you go through, somebody got a worse off than you do. And if you ain't got common sense, you ain't got nothing. And with that, that's what kept me going. And thanks to TNDC, I got a job. I retired now. I got great housing here. And somebody just asked me, I love it here. Are you kidding me? I love it here. I still work for TNDC. But anyway, with that, I just want to let everybody know it's a great place to be in San Francisco. The Tenderloin wasn't always like this. I've been here since 1959 as a kid. And I remember the bowling alleys and the pool halls and great place in the movie theaters. It was a great place to come. So with that, because there's a lot of people waiting to speak, with that, have a great day.
Thank you. Sure. It's like open mic night here. I don't really have any material, but sure, that's right, exactly. I'm not going to sing unless the mayor is really delayed, in which case I'll subject you to that. So I'm Dan Adams. I'm the director of the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development. I've been in this role for about 10 months. But before, I was at the city actually as the acting director about 4 or 5 years ago. And one of the challenges I had at that time was this property.
this vacant parcel. Every week, somebody would call me to complain about this parcel, or they'd have some idea. I know how to use this parcel. I'm going to put tiny homes or this on it or that on it. And it was, excuse my French, a colossal pain in the ass. So it's wonderful to come here today and see the journey from pain in the ass to this beautiful community. I so appreciate the words that a resident friend just mentioned, what a wonderful community it is, what a wonderful community it's going to be, and what a great asset to this amazing community of the Tenderloin. I was chatting with Tony a little bit, walking up here, it's like this building has always existed. It fits so seamlessly into the neighborhood fabric. It really, while being brand new and spectacular, it also looks like it was meant to be. So I want to commend TNBC for their amazing work, and Van Meter Williams Pollock on the beautiful design. And gosh, I thought the mayor would show up just right about now.
Well, still time for you to say.
That's right. 2 minutes out. So 30 seconds, sorry. Well, I was born in a small town in New Jersey. I was born in New Jersey. Yeah. Really? Wow. What New Jersey? Where I was born in the hard scrabble life in Princeton, New Jersey. My dad was in graduate school. It was tough. It was really tough. Anyway, I think, why don't we just have a little silent prayer, and then the mayor will be here any second. Well, thank you all again.
CBN Vegas, you had it. That's okay. But other duties is required there. And
Yeah, no. So I will take the time to fill up the space a little bit to talk about the Tenderloin Community Action Plan. When the mayor arrives, I will thank her for that as well. But that's an incredible investment that the city made in this neighborhood about 4 years ago. Allocated $4 million to 21 community-led projects that make advancements in the areas of youth, housing, public space, and small business development and support. And I really am grateful to folks like you, Curtis, folks like our speaker, who showed up at the Planning Commission hearing celebrating the impacts of the first couple of years of that effort. Really made a big impression on the Planning Commission, and really positioning the Tenderloin to make a consolidated, coordinated ask for continuing that support. And again, I really want to thank the Planning Department that really provided backbone support and staffing, facilitating numerous meetings and processes. It's really been an incredible gift to the Tenderloin and its people. And now I'm very pleased to introduce our mayor, London Breed. I want to thank you so much for all of the support you have given to TNEC specifically, and to the field of affordable housing in general over your many years of service. I want to thank the administrators that you chose to lead the departments that we work with so integrally, including Dan Adams, who's been an incredible partner, and all of his predecessors and his super stable team like Lydia Ely. Everybody loves and needs her, and Jackie So, and the rest of the team. I want to really thank Shireen McSpadden for her leadership of the Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing. It's a huge, incredible job, incredibly important. She has an incredible team that supports her, that supports us, that supports tenants, always thinking first about the people that we're serving and that live in our housing. And we're so grateful for that. And then finally, I want to really thank you for your leadership in really ensuring the expansion of affordable housing opportunities throughout the whole city of San Francisco, and increasing the number and volume of housing that we've been able to produce in your tenure. You've had a huge impact on the city and affordable housing and this organization and the people that we serve together. So thank you. All right. Good morning, everyone. Every time I come to one of these events where we're opening up new housing, all I can think about is there's going to be a whole bunch of people that have a safe, affordable place to call home. And as I have said from day one, this is one of the most important things to me. It's to build housing, and to build housing all over San Francisco, and to remove a lot of the obstruction that gets into the way of our ability to do so.
That has been probably one of the most frustrating things about San Francisco's bureaucracy, is it has been a city of no. And I am so glad that we are finally becoming a city of yes and making things happen in record time in comparison to what has happened in the past. And I will say that this has always been very personal for me. I grew up just down the street at 1265 Eddy Street, apartment 2403. And before that, 1133 Laguna Street on the 4th floor. I could go on and on about the projects I grew up in and spent my whole life. My mother grew up there. I grew up there. And then when they were torn down, 300 units, there were only 200 that were built. So we all weren't coming back. And these were some of the problems that had happened in the past with housing production. What did we think was going to happen if we moved backwards, if we didn't bring back all those units and then some? And I was just in Sunnydale yesterday. I am so excited about what's happening there. 700 units turned into 1,700 units. And the hub under the Boys and Girls Club with a daycare, with seniors who are being fed, with kids who are in classes learning K-pop and a couple of other things. That place was full. And sadly, so many of my friends lost their kids to gun violence right in that same neighborhood, and it was thriving. And it was feeling good. And people were happy. There were kids who grew up there who now had their own place in their neighborhood. Why is all this important? It's important because we can't go backwards. We cannot go backwards in housing production in San Francisco. We can't say no to opportunities like this. And what's so great about this project, during the pandemic, it was a safe sleeping site. Some of us remember that. And now today, after breaking ground 2 years ago with the funding and with the policies, we're here and people are able to move in. This is amazing. We're going from taking 10 years to produce affordable housing to doing it in 2 and 3 years because of state legislation like SB 35 and SB 423, where locally you can say you want housing and you want to see housing, but at the end of the day, oftentimes people say, well, wait a minute, not right across the street from where I live, or I don't want it there. And you know what? Because of new state laws, they cannot say no. And things like this are going to start happening all over San Francisco. And no matter what, it cannot be stopped. If the funding is available, as interest rates start to go down, this is what's going to happen for the future of San Francisco. And it is going to be a game changer for people's lives. That's why this is so important. And so when people say, oh, it's 70 units, that's 70 people that now have a safe, affordable place to call home. That's 70 people that are going to have a person who is here 24/7 to watch over this building and watch over the people. That's 70 people that have direct access to a social worker so that when they need help, they have the support. That is the work that we are doing here in San Francisco. And that is the work that I am so proud to have led on. And so that is why I'm so happy and grateful for all the work that has been done by the different agencies to make this happen. And it's important that we take a moment, we celebrate this accomplishment, but more important, we don't rest on just this. There's more to come, more opportunities, and the best is yet to come. Thank you all so much.
All right, everybody join us in the count.